Hi everybody. Today we start discussing genetics now. After a very long time, now we start discussing genetics, and in genetics today we'll discuss RNA. First, RNA is ribonucleic acid. Ribonucleic acid. It contains a ribose sugar, and there are many different types of RNA, of which one is mRNA, rRNA, tRNA, and other are small RNAs. These small RNAs include snRNA, small nuclear RNA, small nuclear RNA, and microRNA. Okay, so there are different types of RNA, and for like mRNA, the full name is messenger RNA. The name itself has their function. Messenger RNA, this means it carries some message. It's a messenger. RNA is ribosomal RNA that forms the basis for the protein synthesis. This is T, that is transfer RNA. That is, it will help in the transfer of amino acids. Now, these three RNAs, mRNA, rRNA, tRNA, this is important for protein synthesis. So, it is important for protein synthesis. All these three RNAs are important in protein synthesis, but small RNA, that is small nuclear RNA, microRNA, like snRNA in short, miRNA in short, they are important for gene expression and mRNA splicing. So the functions differ. Now first we are choosing RNA over DNA in discussion is because RNA, the structure is also important to understand. So first we will discuss RNA and then we'll come further steps and then discuss DNA and then further go on to DNA replication, transcription and translation. Now coming to the understanding of mRNA, or why first we are discussing this thing today. It is important MCQ wise because there may be MCQs on this topic in pre-PG or in your MBBS course. It is important as a short note and it is part of a long note for UG as well as PG, and it is important in the thing that whenever you write a question on protein synthesis and it is a long note, especially you have to mention the structure of tRNA. Without mentioning the structure of tRNA, you should not go ahead with the answer if it's a long note, especially if you are a postgraduate student. Now coming to mRNA. mRNA, the name as it is suggesting, it is a messenger RNA. This means it has some message that it has taken from, some message it has got from DNA that it has to help in the synthesis of protein. So that has some message that helps in the protein synthesis. Now coming to the structure of mRNA. RNAs have bases like adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. They do not contain. Instead of thymine, all RNAs contain uracil. So this the important thing is that the thymine is not there. But the other important point to be noted is some have unusual bases and sometimes the bases are methylated. So this is important to note that they have unusual bases and some bases are methylated. On this background, now we'll discuss the structure of mRNA. RNA being a single stranded structure, the mRNA is a single stranded structure as I have drawn. And now when it is formed in the nucleus, so it is called as a pre-mRNA transcript. Okay, so this is a pre-mRNA transcript that is formed in the nucleus. It is very long. So this is in the nucleus. But when it comes to the cytoplasm, it undergoes modifications and the size is reduced. The size is reduced and it becomes this short. So at least this is at least 10 to 50 times greater than the mature mRNA or the mRNA which is found in the cytoplasm. So the size is reduced and it undergoes modification, like there is a cap that it will wear. Okay, so there is a cap that it will wear. If he is wearing a cap, he will require certain sandals to wear or shoes to wear. So he will wear some shoes, but here the shoes are made of only A. Sorry, and they are too long, so it's called as a poly A tail. It's called as a tail. So it has a cap, it has a tail. Now let's give it the polarity. So the 5' it has a cap and 3' it has a tail. So the 5' it has a cap and 3' it has a tail. It has a cap, a tail. Now why the modification has taken place? Because we wear a cap and a tail for protection. Similarly, the mRNA is wearing a cap and a tail for protection, so that 5' exonuclease cannot break this, or 3' exonuclease cannot break this. Okay, nucleus is breaking, exo means outside, so these enzymes cannot act on this and therefore the structure of the mRNA is protected. So one thing is that it protects, stabilizes. So one thing is that it stabilizes respectively by 5' exonucleases at this end, at the 5' end, and 3' exonucleases at this end. First is this and second is recognition of the 5' end because a cap is present. Now we have discussed that there is a cap, but what is the name of the cap? So name of the cap is 7-methyl guanosine. 7-methyl guanosine, it is linked at the 5' end, and there is a poly A tail which is at the 3' end. Okay, this poly A tail can be of 20 to 250 nucleotides long. 20 to 250 nucleotides long. So this mRNA, in short, we discuss as a messenger mRNA. When it is formed in the nucleus, it is almost big, 10 to 50 times. It is big, as we can see, and it has no modifications. But as soon as it comes to the cytoplasm, it has to undergo various modifications. Now, right now, what we are seeing is in the cytoplasm, it has to undergo various modifications to stabilize the structure and prevents its degradation by 5' exonuclease at the 5' end. It has a 7-methyl guanosine which is attached over here as a cap, and at the 3' end, to protect from 3' exonuclease, it has a poly A tail which is 20 to 50 nucleotide long, and so they protect from 3' exonuclease, and this also helps in the recognition. This 7-methyl guanosine is linked by 2O methyl ribonucleoside at the 5' hydroxyl end, and at the 3' hydroxyl end there is a poly A tail. So mRNA is almost 2% to 5% in the cell, in each cell, and it is a heterogeneous mRNA. It is also called as, because it is long, it is a very abundant and very big in size, or very heterogeneous when it is initially formed, and it undergoes successive modifications to form the structure that at least, and the mRNA is containing adenine, A, G, uracil and cytosine or cytidine, but it is not containing thymine. Now coming to the other, the important best friend of mRNA, that is tRNA. If you have seen, mRNA is having bases like this. Okay, this is mRNA which has a cap over here and which has a tail over here. So the tRNA has to just have complementary bases. There's somebody should have complementary bases, so that some has to carry amino acid, but these amino acids will be carried only if there are certain specific readings written over here, and these readings are read by the anticodons. That is, the codons over here are read by anticodons over here. So basically they are best friends. So if we are discussing mRNA, we need to discuss tRNA. So just to, this was just an overview of how tRNA and mRNA are best friends. Now coming to the structure of tRNA. tRNA or transverse RNA. If anybody has seen a clover leaf, so there are 3 leaves like this. Seen a clover leaf, so there are 3 leaves like this from one stem. So we just draw an, because tRNA represented like this, so it was also named as a clover leaf structure. Okay. If you have not seen such leaves, then the leaves that are offered to Lord Shiva also are almost same. They are also 3 leaves in one stem. So if we modify the diagram, it would be like this. Somewhat like this, okay. I'll just rub the inside part of that clover leaf that I had drawn. Now I wanted to put information or put a question. We have seen that the RNA is single stranded structure. mRNA was a single stranded structure. So why is this structure not single stranded? See, this structure was also a single stranded structure, but if there are bases which are present and they are complementary to the bases within the strand, so intra-stranding pairing can take place via hydrogen bonds. And the part which does not get bonded is left like open, and that is why this primary left like open, and that is why this primary structure is converted to the secondary structure, and the primary structure that was a strand, because of it going into intra-strand hydrogen bonding pairing, it becomes a secondary 2-dimensional structure, and that is a clover leaf model. So that I wanted to tell. Because of this, it undergoes bonding, and that is at regions of hydrogen, at regions where hydrogen bonding take place, it gets folded. At regions where hydrogen bonding takes place, it gets folded. So this is the reason why it is getting folded. Now coming to the structure. So as I told you, it has a arm which will have an amino acid acceptor which will accept amino acids, and this amino acid acceptor and this arm which accepts the amino acid, it is simple, it is called as a amino acid acceptor. Okay, so this tRNA structure, it could either be a short note for you, or it could be a part of a long note for you. It depends on the examiner, and you should know how to draw the structure. So this is the part which will take up the amino acid. Polarity again important. So this is the 3' end, this is the 5' end, CCA. Modification after is carried on this arm, as is called as an acceptor arm, because it accepts amino acid. It's simple. So one arm, the function is clear that it will take up amino acid. Now this arm is called as D arm. So D arm, what is the function? D arm is helping the enzyme which binds the amino acid to the tRNA. So if this D arm is present, the enzyme knows that this amino acid is to be bound over. So basically it helps in the identification for that enzyme. Okay, you should know the function of each arm. Now coming to one arm we have done, this is the acceptor arm, this will carry amino acid. D arm, it is identification for that enzyme which helps in the carrying of the amino acid. Now this arm, as I told that they are best friends, mRNA and tRNA are best friends. So this is the anticodon arm, and this will bind with the, this is complementary to the mRNA. This is a small arm, it is called as the extra arm. In class 1 of tRNA, there are only 3 to 5 base pairs in it. In class 2, of tRNA, there are at least 13 to 21 base pairs. Okay. Coming to this sum, this is a very important. At least 13 to 21 base pairs. Because I generally love the way, first of all, it is how it is we say is T psi C. Psi stands for pseudouridine. Okay, psi stands for pseudouridine, and D over here stands for dihydrouridine. I had initially mentioned that there are unusual bases or modified bases. So tRNA is the one where high modification is taking place. So the modification takes place and it gets converted. Now the T over here is none other but it is thymidine. So you generally have to face one MCQ which says that thymine is present where? mRNA, rRNA, tRNA. So it is actually tRNA where it is present, because it's not an exception, you can say, because it gets methylated. The bases present in the RNAs are generally methylated. tRNA undergoes a lot of methylation. So already cytosine is present, so modifications, methylations, and then it can, and if an addition of methyl group is present or something like that. So we do not go into discussions, in detailed discussions of it. It is a simple. So we do not go into discussions, in detailed discussions of it. It is a simple structure point of view. Just remember that thymidine is present over here. Acceptor arm, dihydrouridine arm or D arm, anticodon arm, extra arm, and T psi C arm. And as I told, there are interstanding hydrogen bonds which are present, which leads to the pairing and folding of this. So now as we have started 7. Okay. Now this is a tRNA structure. So mRNA structure and tRNA structure we have dealt with today. mRNA, the messenger RNA which carries the message. tRNA, the transfer RNA which transfers the molecule, transfers the amino acid from the amino acid pool for the synthesis of the protein. Both are important. Now in the next classes we will discuss the further parts of the genetic. Thank you, and that's all for today.